UnderHero is a woefully underrated, criminally overlooked 2D puzzle platformer RPG by the four-person studio Paper Castle Games. UnderHero tells the story of one of the big bad's minions who manages to defeat a legendary hero and pilfer his magic talking sword. For reasons I won't spoil, you will then take that sword and explore several classically themed worlds to defeat their respective bosses. The first world is a forest, including a giant tree dungeon, to give you an idea of how admittedly unoriginal they are, though that unoriginality is very much intentional. What makes UnderHero special? There's the phenomenal soundtrack and unique art style, but those alone wouldn't be enough for a recommendation. The battle system is quite interesting and thoroughly enjoyable. Despite looking turn-based at first glance, there are no turns. Instead, a stamina bar determines when you can act, with different actions such as attacking and blocking emptying your stamina. Stamina regenerates slowly over time, or quickly right after you successfully dodge an attack by jumping or ducking, or when you raise your shield with perfect timing to perform a staggering parry. Taiga, calm down. Taiga's crazy.
She's got a lot of energy.
She's been crazy for a whole week, can you believe it?
This is totally recorded a week later.
Yep. You'll have to be careful not to expend all of your stamina. If it drops below 3, you won't be able to attack, jump, or duck until it refills. You can still pull out your shield, but there are some attacks you can't block. And yes, I'm going to have to say it, this is what Dark Souls would play like if it was a JRPG. That's not to say UnderHero is anywhere near as difficult or obtuse as the Soul series. Combat, platforming, and puzzles are all on a nicely satisfying difficulty curve. They all start maybe a little too easy, but over time hit that sweet spot where everything is challenging enough to be engaging, but not so tough to be frustrating. Navigating the world is almost always enjoyable. Getting from A to B is usually straightforward, though the occasional navigational puzzles do mix it up here and there. There are enough hidden paths, secret chests, and quest items to constantly reward exploration. My only gripe with the world design is that some empty connecting corridors are too long or too tall. While these sections allow the art, music, and sound design to build atmosphere, they do wear out their welcome when traversing them repeatedly. This is by no means a deal breaker though. Since I'm on complaints, I might as well get to my other problem. You enter battles directly on the overworld. You're not teleported to an empty plane. This has the upside of allowing for interesting scenarios, like a low ceiling preventing you from jumping over attacks. The downside to this is that sometimes your opponent will stand at an angle or at a distance that makes hitting their very specific weak spot impossible. This happened to me only once, but it was immensely infuriating. Luckily, since all enemies will assume you are on their team when you first meet them, you can simply bribe them into letting you pass, no questions asked. They'll even let you take any treasure they may be guarding. Bribing is UnderHero's pacifist option, and will often let you gain new information by talking to your new bought friends. Okay, now, given the game's title and the mention of a pacifist option, you're probably thinking of Undertale by now, and that's understandable. I'll save you some trouble. There's no narrative point in attempting a full pacifist run. There are some valid comparisons to Undertale though. Both play with the typical fantasy tropes, both have a sense of humor that is expressed in writing, world building, and gameplay, both expand on JRPG combat by allowing you to skillfully dodge attacks, and without going into spoilers, it is just generally extremely obvious that Undertale served as a major inspiration for UnderHero. Don't get me wrong, UnderHero is not as groundbreaking as Toby Fox's effort, but not many games can stand next to Undertale and still look good, and I honestly think UnderHero is one of those games. Its sound, writing, character, and level design create a world that I found myself connecting to quite easily. I happily kept pushing forward to discover where the plot goes and to see what the next boss's gimmick will be. UnderHero keeps surprising in both the story and gameplay department. That being said, there will be some jank, but it's usually only enough to be either charming or mildly annoying. If you like Paper Mario, Bug Fables, and Undertale, there's a decent chance you'll enjoy UnderHero. UnderHero is available on PC, Mac, Linux, and consoles. If you purchased the bundle for racial equality and justice on itch.io, you already own it. Don't overlook UnderHero.
Overlook UnderHero.
Do now, underlook, yeah.
Don't you dare overlook UnderHero.
Do you know of any games that didn't get the attention they deserve? Are you an indie developer and would like me to review your game in time for launch? Hit me up on Twitter or in the comments. If I like the game, I'll feature it. If you want to help introduce more awesome games to a larger audience, be sure to share this review. And, like and subscribe, comment. Those are good. Okay, goodbye. Next week.
See ya, gamers.